Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Just a quick heads up for my regulars. This video isn't about my usual pen giveaways, so you can circle back next week for that. However, if you are a creator right now, desperately trying to get significantly more eyeballs on all that fantastic long-form content you produce, then you absolutely need to stick around for this guide. I'm about to walk you through a really simple, yet incredibly practical workflow for turning just one long video into dozens of short, compelling, and crucially multilingual clips that actually perform well everywhere. Imagine subtitles available in all your top global languages, clips that look natively formatted for every single platform, and a posting schedule that is running completely on autopilot without you needing to manually hit send. I'll detail exactly how I manage this process using a tool called Vizard, alongside a couple of other helpful utilities, and I will certainly point out some major pitfalls I've already stepped in so you can avoid repeating my mistakes. So the big question is, why should you even bother with all this extra effort? The short answer revolves entirely around two key concepts: maximizing your reach across demographics and maintaining high viewer retention across different formats. A huge portion of the potential audience globally simply does not speak your native language, and adding subtitles immediately boosts watch time and overall engagement across all those international borders. Furthermore, the way people discover new creators today is almost entirely through these bite-sized, snackable video clips, so your big, brilliant, long-form ideas need to be optimized to live everywhere they are looking. The incredibly frustrating part is that attempting to do all of this manually rapidly becomes a tedious, time-sucking chore that feels like a full-time job. You're constantly chopping footage, manually captioning, translating everything, and then meticulously formatting the aspect ratio specifically for TikTok versus Instagram versus YouTube Shorts. That is precisely the point where a tool like Vizard steps in, seamlessly integrating with a couple of other essentials to make this entire complex process significantly easier on you. Moving into the first step, you simply need to select your source material, which could be anything from a full podcast episode to a detailed tutorial or even a long archived live stream. Once you have your long-form content, uploading it to Vizard is incredibly straightforward, usually just involving a simple drag and drop action, or pasting a direct YouTube link if it's already published online. Vizard then takes that file and immediately begins processing it, starting the deep analysis of your entire piece of content. While that back-end analysis is running, here is where the real magic starts to happen, because Vizard's artificial intelligence actively scans for strong engagement cues within the audio track. It specifically targets moments that include genuine laughter, sudden spikes in vocal volume, important keywords, and any natural variations in the overall pacing of your delivery. Put another way, you never have to waste time manually scrubbing through hours of footage just to hunt down those potentially viral snippets yourself. The second major step involves activating Vizard's specialized auto-editing viral clips feature, which generates an entire batch of short video segments immediately. You will receive multiple distinct variations from this process, often including very quick one-liners, mid-length highlight reels, and sometimes even an extended mini clip perfect for acting as a strong hook for YouTube Shorts. Crucially, you should never just blindly publish everything the AI spits out. Take a moment to scroll through the suggestions and trim the very start or end if you need an even tighter, more impactful hook. Always select the clips that genuinely resonate and make perfect sense for the specific voice and tone you cultivate on your unique channel. Here's a pro tip that saves a ton of work later. Keep your clip versions specifically tailored to the target platform right from this stage. That means optimizing for vertical crops for use on platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels, while keeping a standard 16:9 or a square 1:1 ratio for other designated areas. Step 3 focuses entirely on captions and subtitles, which Vizard handles by automatically generating them directly from your video's existing audio track. This capability alone instantly saves you potentially hours of painstaking manual transcription work compared to starting from scratch. We all know that machine-generated captions are rarely 100% perfect, especially when they encounter specific names, technical jargon, or any kind of modern slang. So, you must dedicate just 2 quick minutes to scan through the generated captions and meticulously correct any glaring or obvious mistakes that the AI might have made. This simple quality check becomes exponentially more important when you move into the translation phase later on, because mistranslated proper names can make your content look incredibly amateurish to new audiences. Step 4 is the translation process itself, which is often where creators get completely stuck because they desire massive global reach but dread the known headache of localization. Here's a really neat hack to guide your decisions. Utilize tools like TubeBuddy or similar analytics to pinpoint exactly which languages represent your largest existing audience segments or which are trending globally. TubeBuddy's language insights are particularly handy for helping you select a manageable top 10 languages to focus your immediate translation efforts on. For instance, you might wisely choose high-volume languages like Spanish, Hindi, Portuguese, Arabic, French, German, Russian, Indonesian, Japanese, and Turkish for maximum initial impact. Once you have clearly defined which languages matter most to your strategy, you generally have two distinct paths you can pursue for the actual translation work. The first option involves exporting those clean SRT subtitle files directly from Vizard and then running them through a dedicated translation workflow you control. This workflow could be fully automated machine translation, followed by a quick, targeted human review, or alternatively, using a trusted, professional third-party translation service for higher fidelity. Vizard is designed to make exporting those perfectly formatted, clean SRT files as simple as possible so they can be translated externally and then re-imported later on. The alternative approach is to try and keep everything centralized within one application by leveraging Vizard's internal subtitle translation feature, provided it's included in your current subscription tier. Or you could choose to pair Vizard directly with a lightweight external translation API to manage the language conversion on the fly while still using Vizard for the final output assembly. Regardless of the path you select for the initial conversion, the absolute key takeaway here is that you must always thoroughly review every single resulting translation before publication. Why? Because native phrasing and natural flow matters tremendously for viewer connection. And machine translations, while fast, can notoriously butcher idiomatic expressions and specific cultural references or names. Step 5 covers the necessary platform-specific tweaks. Recognizing that every single social media service has its own unique set of operational quirks you need to respect. For YouTube, the most reliable method is uploading those accurately translated SRT files directly into the YouTube Studio subtitle section for your video. While YouTube offers its own auto-translate feature, frankly, the results are often inconsistent, and what we affectionately call a huge hit-or-miss scenario. What I generally prefer is publishing my own accurate English SRT first, explicitly overwriting any initial draft if YouTube prompts you about it. After that primary English track is locked in, I then layer on all of the professionally translated SRT files I prepared using Vizard earlier in the workflow. For platforms like Instagram and TikTok, burning the captions directly into the video file often looks significantly better stylistically and provides an immediate retention boost. This retention benefit comes from the fact that viewers don't even need to consciously tap the caption button to start reading the content immediately. Vizard makes this style of output incredibly easy too, allowing you to re-render the exact same clip with a different burned-in caption track applied based on the language you choose. Now, let's take a quick comparative look at some other popular tools out there so you can better identify your specific workflow pain points. Descript is undoubtedly fantastic for in-depth editing and boasts a superb transcript-based workflow. But be warned, it gets noticeably pricey as your content volume scales upward. Furthermore, Descript is not the most efficient tool when your goal is the bulk exporting of dozens of distinct platform-ready short clips all at once. Tools like Kapwing and VEED are genuinely great for making quick, one-off edits or adding simple subtitles on the fly, but their translation features often require more manual input from you. A significant drawback is that neither of those tools typically packs in an integrated auto-scheduling or dedicated content calendar feature within the same cohesive workflow. Speaking of built-in options, YouTube's native auto-subtitles are certainly convenient and completely free to use, yet the accuracy level remains highly uneven across different accents. And critically, the native YouTube features offer zero help with that smart clipping process or any kind of organized content scheduling whatsoever. Services like Rev and other dedicated human transcription companies will undoubtedly provide you with amazing accuracy, but they will also cost you a significant amount of money every single month if you produce content consistently. This brings us to the core value proposition of Vizard. It manages to sit perfectly in that sweet spot, balancing high levels of automation with retaining essential creator control. It actively finds those high potential viral moments for you, provides effortless caption file exports, and effectively ties into a content calendar and auto-scheduler. This means you can push those localized, multilingual clips out across all platforms without having to constantly babysit the publishing queue yourself. Instead of spending an entire day just exporting SRTs and then laboriously uploading each one individually, you can have a full week's worth of localized content ready and scheduled by mid-afternoon. Before we wrap up, here are a few essential practical tips that I personally incorporate into every single repurposing project I run. First, never trust any machine translation 100% without taking the time to conduct at least a very quick review by a native speaker. Even a brief 5-minute pass from someone who speaks the target language fluently is an incredibly worthwhile investment for authenticity. Make sure you are rigorously keeping all of your clip hooks positioned within the very first 3 seconds of the short format, as the AI helps find them, but human instinct often finds the best cut. When planning content that might later be stitched or duetted by other creators, always use file formats that support that stitching process, adding a second of neutral space at both the start and end points. Crucially, remember to localize your thumbnails and any on-screen text when it genuinely matters. because strong subtitles won't help if the clickbait thumbnail text is entirely in English for a Spanish-speaking audience. If you are currently operating on an extremely tight budget and wondering about completely free routing options, you can certainly still utilize the free tiers of YouTube Studio and TubeBuddy. You can leverage those free tools to identify your top target languages and then manually publish those translated SRT files yourself, which is perfectly fine for occasional videos. However, if you are committed to creating content consistently, week in and week out, the time you save via automation far outweighs the relatively small cost of employing a solid integrated toolset. To conclude, here's the exact workflow I personally deploy when I have a 1-hour podcast or a long live stream that needs to be efficiently repurposed for the entire week ahead. First, upload that entire long file into Vizard and allow the intelligent system to auto-generate those initial clips based on engagement cues. Next, move to manual curation by carefully selecting between 12 and 20 strong clips, ensuring you have a good mix of 6 short hooks and 6 slightly longer highlights. Then perform that crucial quick caption pass inside Vizard's editor to diligently fix any obvious names or industry-specific slang that might confuse the translators. Following that, export all of your refined SRT files and run them through your preferred automated translator, immediately sending the absolute top 5 results for that swift 2-minute human verification check. Once you have the verified translations, re-import everything, render out the platform-specific versions, that's the vertical, the square, and the wide, and drop them all into Vizard's dedicated content calendar feature. Finally, set the system's auto-schedule function to intelligently space out these new multilingual posts over the following 2 to 3 weeks to guarantee a consistent, steady flow of new material. That is truly the entire system. It is short, straightforward, and incredibly dumb simple to execute once you have the initial setup done. You effectively do the intensive creation work once, and in return, you unlock an entire week or more of genuinely native-sounding, high-performing multilingual content automatically. If you are curious to see a live, side-by-side demonstration of how Vizard selects its clips compared to how Descript or Kapwing might approach the same source material, please leave a comment asking for that deeper comparison. I will make sure to drop timestamps and a downloadable quick checklist summarizing this entire workflow down in the video description for easy reference. Thank you so much for investing your time to watch this guide today. If you found even a single part of this process helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future creator hacks. And one final time, I apologize to my pen-obsessed viewers, but I promise I will be back next week with something exciting specifically for you, too. I'll catch you all in the very next one.